Hey guys, David here, and welcome to Digital Outlook. Guys, what another amazing day we have seen inside this XRP ecosystem. XRP today, guys, it just held right above that $2.60 range, and I am believing that we are actually marching even further than that, and probably before the end of this week, we're back over that $3 price range. I really do believe that. Now, something I want us to talk about is this. Guys, back in 2017, we saw something very familiar to what happened on Friday. Back in 2017, XRP had one of those scammy wicks where it had dropped down there by 53% in one day. And it wasn't but just a couple weeks later, the thing fired off 6,000% into a massive God candle. And guys, could it do that this time around? Could we see, a repeat of 2017? Now, we know they say, hey, history doesn't repeat, but boy, it rhymes. And I'll tell you what, if we get a rhyme like we have in 2017, and throughout this bull cycle, we have seen a lot of technical analysts coming out and saying, hey, there's a lot of things happening that have mirrored 2017. And so we could very well see this. Now, what would have to happen? In my mind at least, what would have to happen in order for us to really see a big, massive move? Because if we did see a 6,000% gain on XRP, you're talking about $100 to $150 XRP, which of course would be absolutely monumental for a lot of folks in this space. Well, number one, I think that the ETFs, I would imagine most all of them, majority of them need to get approved. And when they do get approved, there has got to be a gangbuster accumulation for spot XRP. And the reason, of course, is, when you're dealing with future ETFs, there's no need for them to hold the underlying asset, right? So we don't see a lot of performance out of futures like you do spot. Now with spot, holding that underlying asset means they have to accumulate it. Now, JP Morgan has come out and they've done a study where they said there's about $8 to $9 billion of pent-up demand, for XRP ETFs in a traditional market, which is massive. And if you get that, guys, that is the ETFs. Do you not think they are going to get out there and boy, are they ever going to want to gobble up XRP? And I believe that there is going to be a supply shock should that happen. And why do I think that? Well, we know that the liquidity on Coinbase and other exchanges, they don't have that kind of XRP. And that is another one reason why I believe a lot of people were shut out is because they didn't have the XRP to satisfy the demand. And they wanted to close down the buying pressure because that buying pressure probably would have sent the price insane. But needless to say, you get that kind of stuff and you see a supply shock like that amongst institutions, not retail. Retail, guys, we hold just a drop in the bucket. Maybe 1%, 2%. These guys, we are talking some big numbers. Now, I want you to think about something. In the dip that we just seen there, that crash, biggest crash we've ever had, so you can't really call it a dip, but a crash on Friday that we saw. Do you realize that XRP in the same day regained 75 billion? Yes, billion. This morning I said 75 billion or million. I couldn't remember. I looked into it. $75 billion of market cap was regained just like that. So to think that this cannot happen, come on, guys, it could potentially happen. Now, something else that I think needs to take place is you watch and see if Ripple gets this OCC banking license that they applied for and it's approved by the end of this month into November there. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I genuinely believe that right there is going to set this entire ecosystem up like crazy. Why? That banking license is going to give them credibility like you would not believe in order to be custodians for institutions in a massive way. And when you think about that, guys, we know the infrastructure is changing, right? We know that. We can see that. Well, when that changes and you watch a majority of these institutions just start holding all their stuff there, their stable coins, their XRP, all the various, assets they're going to have. You have nation states with sovereign wealth platforms. They're plugging into it. A lot of things are going on. And that license will provide Ripple with such a massive stake in the game. They will be able to compete with some major behemoths in a big way. Now, they themselves are what? A $15 to $16 or $16 billion unicorn, not even IPO'd. That, guys, as the custodians of as much XRP as what they have, is going to be phenomenal. Now, something else that we're really talking about a lot is this whole Clarity Act business. Now, the Clarity Act, of course, is what is going to govern how these assets are managed, right? And you got XRP. By the way, XRP already designated as a commodity and not a security. And it got that in July of 2023 from Judge Annalisa Torres. You know, when she came out and said, hey, XRP in and of itself is not a security, well, it's got that, doesn't it? And as a result of having that, it is definitely going to fit within the parameters of the Clarity Act, where the Clarity Act is going to say, okay, well, for clarity, what does designate a commodity? What does designate a security? Well, for XRP, the CFTC is going to govern that, guys, and it is going to be a major, major deal, because the thing is this, it not being a security but a commodity makes it not a risk in the sense of like a security can be a risk with an equity. It makes it more like an asset. It makes it more like digital gold as far as I'm concerned in that regard. And when you get major institutions grabbing a hold of it, using it for its utility, obviously real world asset tokenization is another big piece there. That is going to be powerful. And that leads me to that next step of real world asset tokenization. Guys, you start to see major platforms, and you start to see equities, gold and silver, I should say securities, equities, along with commodities like gold and silver being tokenized. And that real world asset tokenization starts happening now, between now and the end of the year. You're going to watch the utilization and the, not the adoption, like I like to say, because, a lot of these guys, these institutions certainly have adopted it, that's for sure, but they're going to apply it. Now, when they apply it like that, boom, big. Now, one other thing to think about is this. The SEC actually came out, or not the SEC, the Federal Reserve came out not long ago, and they basically said, hey, banks, normal, regular banks, they can go out and custody these assets. What does that mean for you and I? Can you imagine if the banks establish an infrastructure where they've adopted all this technology and they start to support it rather than resist it, and that kind of thing? And that reminds me of Tim Draper, how, they first they resist it, then they get their friends and their government buddies do that, and eventually you get down the road where they do adopt it and they apply it. Well, think about this. What if the banks start to incentivize you and I to custody our XRP on their platforms and offering us incentives, and rewards and yields to do that? Wow, is that going to send this stuff into outer space? And that's where I think that, yes, we potentially could see a similar situation where XRP literally in 2017 dropped that 53%, and within a couple weeks, bang, 6,000% rally. And we could potentially see that again. A lot of people think, oh, come on, David, that market cap's... No, it isn't. That market cap is not as high as what you think. And think about this. You got the market cap multipliers. It will not take as much into the space to move the price as much as what you think. And things will start to level out. Why? Because all the uncertainty is going to be off the table. And when the uncertainty is off the table, well, the risk is coming down. And of course, that will cause major gobbling up of XRP. And by that point, guys, I think that those that have been waiting on the sidelines, kind of poo-pooing and fudding XRP like crazy and all this kind of stuff, gone, dust, no more, because you're going to see prices. People will weep for the prices that we see today. They will literally get down there, I really believe, and they will be saying, oh my gosh, why was I so afraid? Why didn't I listen? And we're going to see it. And we know one thing for sure. It's not an if, it's a when. So, it is eventually, in my mind, about to happen, because they are going to transition us. Look, I took a couple people through coaching, and by the way, I'll say this. If you're interested in that coaching, it's open, and you can get on there, and you just visit me at thedigital.outlook.com. I think I got 4 sessions left for next week. That's it. And there are some for the last week of the month. But the thing is this, guys, in coaching, I was talking to some folks, and we were talking about, how, and I was showing them atlanticcouncil.org there, that CBDC tracker, and how many nation states around the wide world are literally building out the infrastructure. Now, we're talking central banks. Do you really believe they have put billions upon billions, if not trillions, into that type of infrastructure without ever having the intention of using it. Come on, they are going to use it. We're watching it happen in real time right in front of our eyes. History is being made, and most people are completely oblivious to it. And those that just have got in the last few months have just experienced one of the most terrifying things for them. And of course, it has spooked them crazy. Well, that's the volatility of this space. And when you're taking on risk, like you do when you get into this space, and the greater the risk, the greater the reward, right? Do you think once all of this is laid out, all the infrastructure's in place, they're employing the new system that they are building out and getting us ready for, do you think that the same level of risk is going to exist? No, it won't. It'll be very much diminished. That is going to affect the volatility, which obviously is going to affect the risk-reward ratio. Those guys getting up there and buying our XRP at 100 to 150 bucks, guys, they're not going to see the same level of gains that you and I have seen, because why? Well, we're taking it. We got into this at the highest point of risk. That's why. And this is where life-changing generational wealth can happen. And like I love to say, I believe it's going to result in the greatest wealth transfer in the history of mankind when they write the books. And the history books are all laid out. And they talk about this time right now. You know what they're going to talk about? One of the greatest opportunities that ever faced most free people in their life, in history. And most are going to totally miss it. And guys, a lot of people say, oh, they're not going to let that many get rich. Are you kidding me? Do you know how few of us there really are? They're not going to have a problem letting a few thousand people around the wide world become billionaires, millionaires, and billionaires. They're not going to worry about that. Why? Because they themselves are going to literally see trillions of dollars in value with the tokenization of, these equities markets and having those trade at 365, 24/7. Tokenizing, literally every commodity you can imagine. Tokenizing fine art, real estate, and on and on. The debt market alone, you tokenize that, you're talking over $300 trillion, and the debt market is the beating heart of all markets, isn't it? Guys, I think right now we are on the precipice of seeing something absolutely monumental take place that will blow people's ever-loving minds, and I want you there, guys. I want you there, standing in that winner's circle right beside me when we cross that finish line. I love to say that because I desire it so much. And I'll tell you what, for us, when we go through all the things and we talk about getting you strategically aligned and getting you prepared for what's coming, it's a big time deal, guys. Don't minimize it. If you're sitting on the fence and you're waiting, I'm going to tell you, it can pass you by just that fast. Don't let it happen. Get out there, peel back the onion. Yes, you're getting my 100% biased opinion, but it's an opinion that is based on thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours of research and the fact that I was there. Judy and I were there to see it. We watched it happen. And as quickly as we've seen things drop, was I not proven correct? We watched things drop so fast it blew people's minds. And wasn't it true that you couldn't get on the exchanges? And that's why I recommend Caleb and Brown. And we do have that link in the description if you want to use it. But the fact is, we told you that this is what went down. And a lot of people in the comments, oh, come on, da, da, da. Well, hey, where were you? You couldn't get on your exchanges, could you? You couldn't actually get at it. Some could, but very few guys actually were able to take advantage of that. But if you had a broker and you could get on the phone, you got through. That's a big time deal. And guys, we love you. We tell you this because we experienced it. And we want you to gain from the benefit of what we experienced and not have to make the same mistakes we do. That's why we throw it out there. It's so that you can get further down that road. That's why. So guys, I want to throw that out there because I believe this is something a lot of folks are missing and not realizing that we did experience this in the past. And the end result was such a monumental move that it literally blew people's doors away and changed lives. And guys, I'm praying and hoping and believing that this next run is going to change your life and change our lives and change the way so many of us have interacted in this space. And I cannot wait. So guys, until tomorrow, when we have another fantastic coffee chat, have a fabulous one and take care.